That's why more and more Lagosians are tuning in.
500,000 Lagosians.
720,000.
970,000.
Over 1 million Lagosians, they know that if you give me your afternoon, I will give you hard facts.
Well done, Sandra, on all you do, going beyond the headlines and focusing on the facts.
I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon. I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts. First hard fact of the day: 46.2 billion naira. That's how much UBEC grant money state governments failed to access between 2019 and 2022. That's from Bala Zakari, UBEC's acting executive secretary. In that time period, a total of 162 billion was available. 162 billion naira was available. Now, remember, all a state government needs to do to get these federal funds is spend their own funds on education in their state. Then UBEC will match the funds that a state government spends. And last year, only 11 states qualified for UBEC funding. So if 25 states could not get UBEC funding last year, it's because they were not spending on education. Why were they not spending on education? I'll give you the states as we go on. But of course, Lagos, if you witness a story that you think Lagos absolutely needs to hear about, go ahead and call our newsroom on 01 465 7175. 01 465 7175. 1 million Lagosians listen to hard facts. They cannot be wrong. If you think it's news, it probably is. Thank you for tuning in today. I've got a great show for you, starting with the big three. Let's talk about fatal shootout in Anambra over sit at home. Then let's talk about the president's cabinet defending awarding contracts days before the handover. And then let's talk about government workers in Plateau and Zamfara angry over unpaid salaries. At 4 o'clock, we'll bring you Eyewitness. And at 5, on the big hard fact, let's talk about the National Assembly legitimizing the ways and means over borrowing. Kelechiku Ogu from SBM Intelligence will be joining me. And then after the news at 6, it'll be time for the step down. On the step down today, we'll continue what we did yesterday. Remember, I told you that I brought bread. You know, when somebody travels, they ask the person, what did you bring? I brought back bread like this, very delicious. I gave away 2 on the show yesterday at 6:45, and I'm going to give 2 more away today. So if you are still here by 6:15, you get to take the bread from me. And all you have to do is tell me what I missed. In the past 2 weeks I was away, what did I miss? Yesterday, I had people call me and tell me about Ekweremadu. They called me and told me about, what else did they even tell me about? They told me about so much, but I even forgotten. No, I'm gonna think about it. I'll think about it. And I'll remember all the things they told me. But of course, if today someone is trying to tell me what happened in the 2 weeks I was away, so they were telling me about the National Assembly race as well. And then someone called me to say that someone was asking Sisioge to be their sugar mommy. I don't know why they felt that that's gist that I want to hear. But it was hilarious. But yes, 6:15 today. Let's have that conversation. The best stories get the bread that I brought back from my leave. So if you want to get it, be here 6:15 and make sure your story is great. Okay. Expect news, business, and sports at the top of the hour, every hour. But let's get started with today's big three, Lagos. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
This is the Big Three.
The big three
On Hard Facts. On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Can security agencies stop illegal sit-at-home enforcement? What are the pros and cons of lame duck contract awards? Should salary payment be a first-line charge for state governments? Those are your big three, Lagos. Let's talk. The Anambra State Police Command says it's on top of the sit-at-home situation. That's our first story. On Tuesday afternoon, there was a shootout at the Nkwo Market in Ihiala. IPOB and ESN terrorists showed up, tried to stop people from trading or driving, but according to the police, they showed up along with the army to drive them away. That's when the shootout happened. One security guard was shot in the leg, but nobody died. IPOB and ESN fled the market. The police are saying that they now have the assets and the strategic flexibility to handle ESN and IPOB in the state and end the sit-at-home enforcement. We heard from DSP Tochukwu Kinga, who said that the police has, quote, improved security dominance and surveillance in the state, end quote. He's the state command PRO. And I want to know if you agree with him. I want to know if you agree with the police that they have improved security dominance and surveillance that can help them handle ESN and IPOB and end this sit-at-home thing. Those of you who have friends and family and colleagues or investments in Anambra or Imo or other eastern states where sit-at-home is enforced, is it correct to say that the police and military have gained the upper hand in the state? If it is correct to say that, what have they done differently that maybe other states need to copy? And not just states in the southeast, to be honest. I mean, any state where terrorist groups are disrupting peace and security. What are the police doing differently to get an upper hand in that situation? And if it's not true that the police, have gotten an upper hand in the situation specifically in Anambra now, what should Anambra be doing differently to end this sit-at-home menace? 0700993 014657190 014657190 for women. Men call me on 0700993993. We've got WhatsApp as well. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805 080-959-75805. Hello, how you doing?
Madam Sandra.
Good to have you on the show, sir.
My name is Dan Baba.
Dan Baba, welcome.
You want make I tell you what you miss?
No be now. Now for 6:50 you could tell me.
You no one give me bread.
Now 6:15 I will give you the bread.
You are welcome, no.
Thank you.
But we have a rollicking fun time with Madam Ezekwesili.
Yes, it was fantastic.
She try you. Give her 2 bread.
I'll go give her.
Plus my own 3.
Okay.
On sit-at-home. The last time I traveled to eat, we drove from Umahia all the way to Owerri. Sit-at-home day. There was no issue.
Okay.
And the other Monday, I drove around the city of Owerri, Doggars, and every other place. People go to this Charlie Boy village, Uguta.
Okay.
There was no issue.
Okay.
I think this sit-at-home is being hijacked by hoodlums.
Okay.
Don't forget that every region has armed robbers, all these gangs. I think it's being hijacked, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because this real IPOB member always deny this allegation of killing, that they are not terrorists. So who are those people killing these people? I think the police should investigate. If you arrest all these people, ask them if they are IPOB member or who is sponsoring them. Because I've been to the east, I may travel next week. And I will move free. Nothing will happen. When this thing wants to happen, it's a planned attack. I think the law enforcement agencies will go beyond shoot at, and investigate it. Tell us the real people behind this thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dambaba, for calling. 99.3.
Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon, sir.
It's Koboko.
Talk to me, Comrade Koboko.
Hearing me very well, ma.
I'm hearing you very well, sir.
Thank you.
Comrade Koboko, your network is not very clear. Maybe call us back. 99.3.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name? Gozikwagi.
Yeah, my name is Igor Victor.
Talk to me, Igor Victor.
On the sit-at-home enforcement, the first time sit-at-home was declared by IPOB, it was Mazin Nandekano from detention that told the members of the IPOB ruling council that they should cancel it. At a point, some people who don't really want him to come out of detention I don't know if they were sponsored, just like Dan Baba said. God bless Dan Baba. The truth is that these people were sponsored and they call themselves autopilot. If you watch what is happening in present politics today, you will see that most times the new group are infiltrated, if I would say, by the government authorities or what, but I don't know. The truth is, this guy in Finland decided to hijack, even when the leader of the group said that they should stop anything about the sit at home. This guy hijacked it and started fomenting trouble across the length and breadth of eastern Nigeria. Then, at the end of the day, if you watch the trend of what is actually happening, I said it in the morning, anytime the court case is about to take place, you will begin to hear series of issues in the east, as in burning, killing, and all that. So this is, I thought, always come out to say they are not part of it. The truth is, the security agencies should look down very well and see who is actually involved. But as for, if you ask me, I would say that some people are using the opportunity to cause chaos in order to see that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu does not gain his freedom. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you very much for calling us. Okay. If you just tuned in, the Anambra State Police Command says it's on top of the sit-at-home situation in Anambra. On Tuesday afternoon, there was a shootout at the Nkwo Market in Ihiala. IPOB and ESN terrorists showed up, tried to stop people from trading or driving, but the police showed up, according to the police, and they showed up along with the army to drive them away. That's when the shootout happened. A security guard was shot in the leg, but nobody died. IPOB and ESN, however, ran away from the market. And the police say that they now have the assets and the strategic flexibility to handle ESN and IPOB in the state and end the sit-at-home enforcement. Those of you who have friends or investments or contacts in Anambra, is it correct to say that the police and military have gained the upper hand in Anambra? What have they done differently so that other states in the east can copy it? So that other states anywhere in Nigeria, to be honest, can copy it. Anywhere that we have terrorist groups disrupting peace and security. And if it's not true that the police have the upper hand or the army has the upper hand in Anambra now, what should the police and the army be doing in Anambra differently to get a hold of this sit-at-home madness? 01465 7190. That's for women. Men call me on 0700 993. Hi, good afternoon.
Hello, Sandra.
How you doing?
Good afternoon. This is Joy.
Joy, I missed you. Good to have you on the show.
I miss you so very much. My bad. I'm not really missing that much like that anyways, but I'm so happy to have you back. Okay. The few times I listened to Sis Yogi, I enjoyed her anyways.
Yes, she's fantastic.
So for me, the IPOB, I don't want to actually, I think it's just Nigeria that call them these terrorists. So the international community, have they seen them as terrorists?
No, but Nigeria has designated them as a terrorist organization. Yeah.
Sandra, God keep us alive. One day, the truth of this whole matter, the things happening in Nigeria, we will know. There's no problem. That's the only thing I say, because someone will talk and they say, hey, you are supporting this, supporting that. Something is actually going on, Sandra. Something is going on. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But I know something is actually going on. And the government knows about it. If they want to fight anything, they should fight today. I will not be postponed again, adjourned again till September. September what? This is something they're supposed to have start on, dig on it. Within how many months this will have been a forgotten issue. But they keep adjourning and adjourning and adjourning. Buhari government has led, meaning he doesn't want anything his hand concerning this. He has left it for the next government. No wahala, no problem. And finally, Sandra, you see these IPOB people, they are the ones they are, or people like, the media always talk about them as in what are we going to do? Southern Kaduna and Benue, where they massacre people, children, women, Old people. Nobody's talking about it because if you talk too much, they'll say, hey, we are trying to say what is not happening. There are people who call in and we hear them, what they say, because of what's happening. They should go to that place. These people come, operate for hours, they go. Nobody has said they have caught anyone. They are on trial. This what happened. We just hear, oh, they've caught these people. But all I know, Sandra, me and you, we dey here. Even if you know they here, we dey hear news. We will know, we will see what the end of all this that is happening in Nigeria. One day.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Joy, thank you very much for calling. Now, of course, what's happening in Southern Kaduna, terrible. What's happening in Benue, terrible. What's happening in all parts of Nigeria where there's conflict and terrorism, because these herders who continue to murder farmers and communities in the North Central are terrorists, and it's all pretty horrible, which is why I'm asking if the police and the army are right that they have figured out the problem with ESN and IPOB in Anambra. What is it that they've done differently that states like Kaduna can learn from, and Benue can learn from, and Taraba can learn from, all the states where we currently have terrorists roaming around freely, killing people, murdering people freely? That's the main conversation. That's the big question I have from this story. If it is correct that the police and the military have gained the upper hand in Anambra as far as IPOB and ESN are concerned, what have they done differently that other states can copy? The other states that have terrorist groups disrupting peace and security. And if it is not true that in Anambra the police and army have gained the upper hand, what should the police and Anambra be doing differently? Same for other states where we have terrorists running free. 0700-993-993-993. That's for men. 014657190. Hello, thanks for calling.
Hello, Sandra.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. You're welcome.
Thank you. What's your name, ma'am?
I'm Jennifer from Sulere.
Good to have you on the show. Talk to me.
This IPOP issue. Has government asked what is the problem? Have ever tried to address the issue? Because this IPOP, they did not go and be killing people or maybe disturbing anybody. What they're saying is to release their leader. And they are not trying to solve the problem.
All right, thank you very much for calling. Let's take a look at messages we've got on WhatsApp, and then we'll come back to the phone lines. Or actually, no, we already have a call scheduled for me on the phone lines. So let me take this call and then go to social media and take the messages we've got there. Sunday's in Ikorodu. Hi, Sunday.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good to have you on the show.
Welcome for your travel.
Thank you.
What I want to say about this IPOP is just that doing their circle. Because I'm assuming that is not something like anything. Hello?
So you're saying it's them that are doing themselves?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thanks for calling. On WhatsApp, we've got this message here from Oscar. Oscar says, my dad's brother was kidnapped for 3 months at Negbi in front of Amago Street in Imo State, Oru East local government. Some refused to release him. My dad's Lagos State because of this. Also, thank you for welcoming me back, and I'm really sorry that your uncle has currently not regained his freedom, and fingers crossed that it ends well for your family members. This is really terrible news, Oscar. You have my sympathies. Adedeji says, Adedeji is an Ayobo. Adedeji says, my own submission on this IPOB menace is that they are biting more than they can chew. Why are they terrorizing their people? They're just constituting unreasonable nuisance in their region, for crying out loud. Their leader is in detention, facing the wrath of the law with treasonous charges. Instead of them to go and calm down somewhere, being hopeful for the release of their principal, they're adding insult to his injury. Now I see the reason why federal government prescribed them as a terrorist group. Adedichi with that message there. We've got Steve in Ijaniki who says, what is happening in the southeast is just the handiwork of some dirty politicians who see the region as a soft target to cause confusion. There will be peace in the region when the powers that be want peace there. The police that is claiming the winning ways in the region, are they different from the police in Benue, Plateau, Kaduna, and everywhere there's so much bloodbath? I pity anyone who believes the police. Steve in Ijaniki with that message. All right, Steve. Justice says security operatives don't have upper hand on the security issues in Anambra or other states yet. Yesterday, Keke's bus and a tipa were burnt in different junctions and markets in Anambra yesterday by unknown gunmen. Federal government can stop it if they genuinely want it to stop. The security operatives work with their directives. Justice says, Ngwanubai. All right, Justice. Thanks for your message, and Ngwanubai yourself. This one here, quite long, from Chris. Chris is in Accra with this message. And I will take a look at this message from Chris when we come back from this commercial break. Chris is listening to us from Accra. And then, of course, after the break, our second story is the raging controversy over whether or not an outgoing government should still be awarding contracts. Should an outgoing government still be awarding contracts? Now, of course, we've heard from Tinubu and his team who have said that they will continue the projects that the Buhari administration has started. That government is a continuance, so it's a government that there will be continuity in governance. That's what Tinubu's team are saying ahead of the handover on May 29th. But some people are saying, well, why is the Buhari admin still awarding contracts? We'll talk about that after this break. Don't go away.
I'm from Lafarge. I beg, sign for here.
What do you look for there? I dey look. What that mean, sef, get delivery. You don't look inside the bags of Lafarge cement where you buy. Inside the bag? Yes, nah. Lafarge, they rewarding better customers there. For the Lafarge buy and win promo, where they share from the 10th of April to the 15th of May 2023. See, when you buy any Lafarge cement, if you find Lafarge scratch card inside, scratch am, load am, carry go. Now you get am. But if you find any other gift, just call the phone number where they the card. The gift where you find there, they go carry am go give you.
Now so, you don't hear am? You fit win microwave oven, water dispenser, fan, bag of rice, carton of noodles, recharge card, and other better things for the Lafarge buy and win promo. Check posters for more to you. Terms and conditions they shall.
Lafarge, building progress.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the biggest football fan festival is back. It's Goalfest, the Festival of Champions. Featuring exciting games, food, comedy, live music by some of the very best Nigerian music superstars. And you can watch the UEFA Champions League final on a huge screen. Goalfest 2023 will take place on the 10th of June at the Balmoral Convention Center, Federal Palace Hotel, Amadu Bello Way, Victoria Island, Lagos. Time 2 p.m. Get your tickets now available at www.goalfestnigeria.com. Goalfest 2023 is powered by Femi and the Gang and Football Republic. Proudly refreshed by Pepsi.
Sponsored by BetWinner.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and yes, back to that message from Chris now. Chris says, let me admit that security in Anambra has improved as it was an all-time high from June to December 2022. Hardly a day in 2022 that our Newi platform did not get video or images of killings in Anambra. But this year, since after the election, it has eased off a bit. Schools now open on Mondays. The government needs to improve on intelligence gathering and engender citizens' confidence to give intel. The proliferation of arms, rocket propellers, unemployment, and Urumiri remains core reasons why this relative peace is on tender hook. All atrocities happen again. All right, Chris from Accra, thank you for your message. Chris sends me a video of some man, allegedly a leader of a criminal gang, who was allegedly gunned down by security forces in Anambra. All right, Lagos. While we're mulling over that first story, let me bring you our second one, the raging controversy over whether or not an outgoing government should still be awarding contracts. President Buhari's outgoing minister, Muazu Sambo, says yes. Muazu Sambo is the transport minister. If you've never heard of him, because it's probably because he took over during campaign season after Rotimi Amechi resigned to run for president. And Muazu spoke after yesterday's FEC meeting, and he said, quote, "Ladies and gentlemen, without any intentions of mischief, this government was elected to function from 2019 to precisely 29th of May 2023. Should we now stop functioning 1 month before the next appointment because we are coming to the end of the tenure? This government must work. We expect the next government to also work until the very last day of their tenure." End quote. Now, of course, Sambo is legally correct. The administration has the mandate to keep working as normal until May 29th, 2023. But the critics are saying that maybe the law should change. The critics say they feel that there's a problem with the law allowing the government to just keep awarding contracts until the last day because there's an incentive to spend all the money in the treasury, award contracts to cronies, cash out one last time. The critics are saying that this is how they feel. But before I went on leave, I told you about how different countries handle this lame duck situation. In political science, a lame duck is an elected official whose successor has already been elected and is waiting for a handover. And in many countries, their laws restrict the powers that a lame duck can exercise. So I gave you the example of Canada, for instance. In Canada, a lame duck prime minister is not allowed to do everything that a normal prime minister can do. So they cannot make some major appointments or change some policies. They can't do that. So you see this subsidy thing that they are doing up and down. In Canada, they won't do it here. In New Zealand, the lame duck prime minister must consult with the incoming prime minister before taking some major steps. But in the USA, it is free for all. The lame duck can do anything they like up until the day of swearing in. So different countries have figured out what works for them. And I think as Nigerians, what we need to do is ask ourselves, which style do we want? We can decide to say, oh, this current system works, let's stay with it. Or we can decide to change it to something else based on our peculiar problems. But it's up to you. What do you think we should do? 0700-993-993-993 01465-7190. Meanwhile, Suleiman Adamu said something very interesting about this. He's the Minister of Water Resources, and he said, quote, "If I may add, there are processes, and these processes have started. We're still operating the 2022 budget," end quote. The Water Resources Minister is saying that some of these approved contracts are actually from last year's budget, which is why it still makes sense to be approving them at this dying minute. But here's my question. Why is the FEC still implementing the 2022 budget when we are almost halfway through 2023? Is that an indicator that budgets are not being implemented efficiently? Why didn't the National Assembly insist on a better implementation of the 2022 budget before voting to approve the 2023 budget? Shouldn't there have been penalties for poor budget implementation? But anyways, how should Nigeria handle lame ducks? 0700-993-993-993 01465-7190. Hello, thanks for calling us.
Hello, Sandra.
How you doing? What's your name, ma'am?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Happiness from Ikorodu.
Happiness, I missed you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I miss you too, eh? Sandra, where did you go to?
I went on leave, that's all.
To collect breeze, Abby?
Just rest small, just collect breeze.
You need it, eh? And I get to say, okay, it was a nice time with her.
Yeah, she was
It's a really stick. She tell us that seat is hot. She's sitting on a hot seat. The next time, anyway. She sits to wherever she is. Sandra.
Yes.
They hear you. Please help us and tell them. Tell him he should leave the remaining money. He should leave the project. Just few weeks. He will go. He should be arranging his things, not touching that money again. Please help us and tell him he should leave the remaining project. He has tried.
Okay.
He has tried.
All right.
Let the other one continue.
Okay.
Let them come and make the implementation and all that. He should leave the remaining money.
Okay. All right. Happiness. Let's leave the remaining money. Yeah. Samuel from Moe is on the line. Hi, Samuel.
Hello, Sandra. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Where's my bread?
You collect it by 6:15 if you're still here.
Okay. What's happening? And I want to talk on the sit at home. And
yes, please go ahead.
What is happening is that it's like fighting a battle and a war. One can win a particular battle and then you lose the war.
Okay.
Federal government knows what is happening in the East. The people in the East are fighting for it's the aftermath of the civil war. And the federal government knows what to do is to bring these people nearer. The effect of that war has not been the people have not been assimilated back to Nigeria. And that is the real truth. Until you do that, you may win the battle temporarily, but the war is still there. What is happening is the same thing as what is happening in the north. Somebody is taking people's land, and the federal government are looking over. You are looking it from the other side. You are taking my land. You are taking my land, and the person is complaining, and until they will.
Oh no, that's unfortunate. Call back if you can. Baba G is in Badagry. Hi, Baba G.
Yeah, Sandra. I think this your bread is a special bread, honestly.
Special bread.
Let's wait till the time. 6:30, right?
6:15.
Okay. God bless you. You're welcome back.
Thank you.
Let me talk about the first topic. Am I allowed?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Yeah. You will understand. People that knew Babaji will understand that I'm not a fan of this government. And Nigeria government has not been fair to the Southeast, honestly, if you ask me.
Okay.
But this agitation, I can tell you for free, the angle they are going, I don't think is going to favor any one of us.
Okay.
And I think many callers have said it, that politicians, they've hijacked the struggle. But if you remember vividly, Sandra,
right,
it wasn't the politician at Benicio that declared sit at home. It wasn't you remember the time they said, time will come, probably they reverse it, that Nigeria flag will not be flown in the Southeast. They said it. Even the national item, they said they will ban it. And your statement as a leader, by the time you say something, you know people are waiting there to hijack the struggle. And for example, now the killing of your own people, my own people, because they are my first brother from the South.
Okay.
Your own people. And are you telling me that the IPOB and the ECN that is proscribed, can they come out and say, who are those people that entered our land, killing our people? Is it true politicians from the Southeast will form this gang to be killing our own people? Is it possible? What are they going to achieve? And I can say this, that those people that is making case for them, the team may come back and swallow us. I think they should stop it. Many people will be making references. The military, they've not stopped Kaduna, what is going on. They've not stopped Kano. Why is it our land? And at the end of the day, if the federal government says, okay, now military, go and cover the whole area. You will see caller this platform. Say, tell the federal government to withdraw the military from the southeast, the south. Why are they putting military there? Carry the military to Sabisa and see what is going on now. If you don't handle it very well, God will protect our lives. You will see what will happen to that region. God bless you. You are welcome back.
Thank you, Baba G, for calling. All right, Lagos. While you're thinking about our first and second stories, let me bring you our final one. For our final story, it's the latest chapter in the ongoing drama. about state governments and unpaid salaries. So you have government workers in Plateau State going on indefinite strike. The workers have been negotiating with the state government over their unpaid salaries. But they claim that the government keeps breaking its promise to pay salaries, keeps breaking the promises that government makes during negotiations. So now, the Joint Negotiating Committee and the NLC have suspended negotiations and triggered a strike from today. We have a similar situation in Zamfara. The NLC and TUC in the state say that the government has not paid salaries for the last 2 months. Meanwhile, Governor Bello Matawale has promised to clear all the salary debt before he hands over. His government is appealing to the unions to be patient and to bear with them. This thing keeps happening, Lagos, over and over. By the way, it is illegal to owe salaries. Did you know? Did you know it's illegal to owe salaries? A state government doesn't have the legal right to owe salaries, no matter what. What is supposed to happen is the government pays salaries and other existing obligations first. Then after that, the government uses whatever money is remaining to do anything else it wants to do. The reason that governments can get away with owing salaries is because now them hold the yam, now them hold the knife. The money is inside government account. A government accountant general and finance commissioner, they approve payment. And it's very difficult for workers to sue government to get money that government owes them. Now you also understand why the Nigerian worker working at a private establishment cannot really pursue their rights about being owed salaries where they work, because the government that you want to go and cry to come and fight your battle with your employer is owing salary. Is not paying salary to her own staff. And employers know this and they capitalize on it, and they give you like a really terrible work environment and really terrible work conditions, and they tell you, look, unemployment is 33%. If you can't take it, you get out of the kitchen. Somebody else will take it. This is also why corruption is rife, because you're owing someone 2 months salary, you're owing somebody 6 months salary, 1 year salary. How do you expect them to feed? How do you expect them to survive? Like, the system needs an overhaul. My God. Like, it needs to be wiped with bleach. And I'm wondering what the systemic changes can be. Are there systemic changes that can be made to make it impossible for a state government to simply not pay salaries if the money is there? Kind of like a maybe direct debit, like a direct debit type of situation. I don't know. So, for example, we talk about first line charges, right? Where a state government borrows money, debt servicing charge taken from the state government's accounts first, right? And it's automatic. Same thing with statutory deductions, right? Should the laws be changed to make salary payments automatic, like debt servicing or statutory deductions? Should it be a first line charge, like the money for the judiciary, you know? What do we need to do to make it impossible for a state government to choose to owe salaries? Because that's what they're doing. They're making a choice. They're saying, we can afford to owe. 0700-993-993-993. Today I'm taking you all over the country. We started in Anambra. Now we've gone to Zamfara and Plateau. We also went to Abuja a little bit. We didn't really come to Lagos, but maybe tomorrow we'll come. No, tomorrow is for global stories. We'll go abroad tomorrow. But yeah, these are the stories on today's Big Three. What needs to happen for this owing salaries of a thing by state governments to end? Women call me on 01465-7190. Men call me on 0700-993-993-993. Hello.
Sandra.
Ma.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Rita from Lakwe.
Rita, talk to me from Lakwe.
Sandra, federal government still approving.
Contracts.
Approving what? Contracts. So let's go back and change these things now, Sandra.
You don't want that to happen?
I don't like it. I don't even want it. In fact, if there's less money, why don't we keep it there so that the other person coming, it will make use of it. That we are going to borrow. We are borrowing for subsidy, and we will have money. We want. I don't even know what these governments are doing. Sandra, very salary. Again, why don't you even put those monies so that they'll be paying people? Sandra, I will go for work. That at the end of the month, you will not pay me my money. Hey, Sandra, that company, that office will not size the both of us again. No. Why am I working then when I will not meet up to my needs? Why? And they will hold them like 6 months, 3 months, 1 year.
Right.
How? Is it by force to work in the government office? Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Richard, for calling. We've got Emmanuel in Ekpe on the line. Hi, Emmanuel.
Sandra.
Sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did not miss you.
Ah, okay. Me,
I don't listen to your program. I only peep from the window.
Yeah, okay.
But hope you are not going to leave anytime soon.
If I go,
it will pay me small. That is what we call stop it. I like it. Talking about hello, are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, talking about executive, carrying out contracts. I mean, issuing new contracts. So that is why we talk that the legislative arm of government, should be independent. Right. But some people, always tell us that we need a legislative arm, that is that will work with the executive, and then creating excuses from them. For them, where the president or the governor, we pick. The person who should be Senate president, or in the state case, the House of Assembly speaker, which is not good for our democracy. So that is for that. Our state government owing salaries. It's painful sometimes, how our government, waste our resources. Drive this long convoy, lavish our money. At the end of the day, the common man who is, at the bottom of the chain, is not even getting their salary. And sometimes how much is even the salary? We see 30,000. 40,000. Some states are not even paying the minimum wage according to reports.
Yeah.
So imagine what our people are going through in this country.
Yeah.
So I don't know who is going to chart a new course for us in this country. Then talking about the IPOB issue, I have always said it, that the Southeasterners, people, the leadership of that Southeasterners, especially those who are out of politics, should wake up and then chart a new course for that region. And again, it is good that the Anambra state government is waking up security-wise. But one thing I would beg all the Southeasterner, the government should do is to educate the young ones coming up, so as to, weed away the nuisance in the society. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you very much and good afternoon. All right, let me take a look at messages we've got on WhatsApp. We've got quite a few. This one here from Sunday Naja says they owe salary because of their self-interest and wickedness, but their own salaries are being paid irregularly. All right, Sunday. Yeah, which is why my question is, what's the systemic way to end this? Dedeji from Ayobo says, I think it's unspeakable what this apparent outgoing government is doing at the helm of affairs of this country by awarding contracts with barely few days left in office. Who does that? This same government has the audacity to tell the Senate to approve a borrowing of 800 million USD just for sharing within the poor people of Nigeria. Even at the end of this regime, these people know they fear God. These people just wanted to set us back in capital letters. All right. Adedeji from Ayobo, thanks for your message. Maki says, Sandra, Niger matter tire me. Imagine an administration that will be gone into oblivion and into the dark, heartbreaking and sorrowful pages of history in less than 3 weeks, borrowing huge amounts of money and awarding contracts respectively. What an apparent practice of mischief. This is a slap in the face for us. I beg, Sandra, give me that bread. Make I go console myself. No worry. 6:15. If you want the bread, call me at 6:15. We've got this one here. Sandra, good evening. It's so sad that In this era, the government of the biggest economy in Africa still owes salaries. The civil servants are starving and their kids are starving. They cannot provide medication, which has resulted to numerous deaths. It's so sad this is happening, and definitely the government that owes salaries should be prosecuted. A law to prosecute them should be passed. You cannot owe salaries no matter how broke you claim to be. And you know the interesting thing, this owing salaries thing, it's not even a problem that is widely experienced in Africa. Like if you're talking to a Kenyan or a South African about being owed salary, they'll be looking at you like you have two heads. Like it's such an interestingly Nigerian problem. You know what I mean? Like you'll be telling somebody from South Africa, they're owing me salary at work. The person's looking at you like, what? You know, so it's abnormal even for us. I'm deliberately using African countries, and I've used the country from East Africa and South Africa. I'm deliberately using African countries so that we don't say, oh, we're still new, we're still figuring it out. These are countries that are like us, figuring it out as well on the continent. I'm not using Western examples now. It's outrageous that this can happen. It's unheard of in even Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is here in West Africa. It's unheard of to owe salary. We've got more messages here. Let me take a look at them. It is the police in the entire southeast I will appeal to. It should please maintain decorum in tackling these terrorist guys calling themselves IPOB. Look, the police should please when engaging these evildoers in the illegal sit-at-home order. Also, there are some Igbo leaders who are backers of these guys for their evil activities that is disturbing the peace the Southeast ought to have been enjoying. Look, Sandra, until purpose of sincerity is coming from some of the elders and leaders in the East, then lasting peace will restore back in the East. Only Buhari cannot give peace back to the region without the cooperation of other aborigines of the region. Some people are here in Lagos and abroad sponsoring IPOB in the East, while some people are clapping for them. The only advice I have is that they shouldn't allow East to turn to some areas in the North where Boko Haram and bandits are in charge. Alaba Lakwe from Sabijewu with that message there. We've got Sapuruchi from Canada who says, Sandra, this is unfair. Oh, you have listeners in diaspora and you're giving bread to only Nigeria bees. We in diaspora are going to court. Sapuruchi, please don't go to court. I don't have diaspora money. Have you seen exchange rates? Dollar is like 7.30 in the black market too. We've got Judah Nyawu who says, Sandra, if you say it is illegal for the government to owe salaries, how many of our workers know this? You have only opened another vista of knowledge for them to know that they can take the government on. I do hope they're listening and will do the needful, because I find it ludicrous and inhuman that a sitting governor of a state will be comfortable superintending a hungry and angry workforce and expect the best from them. It does not work like that. Mataole's plea does not hold water at all. Jude Anyanwu with that message there. Jude, thanks for your message. We've got this one here from... this message says, the police are weak. They'll never wait when they hear gunshot. They are only making mouth. Make them go sit down, I beg. They can do nothing in the East. The last time I traveled, I saw them collecting money. That's the only thing they can do. That is one of the reasons that Nigerians don't respect the police. All right. We've got this one here. Sandra, we cannot waste precious airtime on salaries and wages in government establishments. We all know that the bureaucratic sleaze is a big drain on national resources. Workers know the government cannot pay, but they won't resign their appointment because of what they are enjoying from the position. Except you are a teacher, health worker, agric extension worker, security personnel, accountant, and other professional cadres, please leave government jobs and go and hustle outside. Okay. Oluwaseun Oni in Ajao Estate with that particular message there. All right, then. I'll take this message here from Ralph in Satellite Town, and then we'll take a break. When we come back, I'll take more of your messages. Ralph says, honestly, a lot is going on in the East, especially in Ihiala, local government of Anambra, Imo State, and other parts. I don't know why nobody is doing anything about it. I was in my village Ihiala last weekend, but only kept hidden before I left due to the high level of insecurity. Or I think you meant to say only kept hiding. My God. It's gotten that bad that you now have to hide around in Anambra of all places, because the East used to be one of the safest parts of the country. Well, of course, except for like different times in the East's history where you have like violence and kidnapping during the days of Otokoto and when you had to have Bakassi boys take over in Abia State, Actually, the East has always had skirmishes with security. Let's take a break. When we come back from this break, Lagos, we'll keep talking. Don't go away.
I'm from Lafarge. I beg, sign for here.
What do you look for there? I dey look. What that mean, sef, get delivery. You don't look inside the bags of Lafarge cement where you buy. Inside the bag? Yes, nah. Lafarge, they rewarding better customers there for the Lafarge Buy and Win promo, where they shell from the 10th of April to the 15th of May 2023. See, when you buy any Lafarge cement, if you find Lafarge scratch card inside, scratch am, load am, carry go. Now you get am. But if you find any other gifts, just call the phone number where they the card. The gift where you find there, they go carry am go give you.
Now so, you don't hear am? You fit win microwave oven, water dispenser, fan, bag of rice, carton of noodles, recharge card, and other better things for the Lafarge Buy and Win promo. Check posters for more to you. Terms and conditions they shall.
Lafarge, building progress.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
Your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
All right, we've got 4 minutes. Let me come back to the phone lines. 0700-993-993-993. On today's Big Three, we went to Anambra to talk about the sit-at-home enforcement situation. The police command there say that they're on top of the situation. Our second story, I brought you the raging controversy over whether or not an outgoing government should be awarding contracts. And I told you what happens in different countries in the world. I took you to Canada, I took you to New Zealand, I took you to the USA, and I said to you that as Nigerians, we need to figure out what we prefer. Do we prefer a situation where we can continue with the current system where 18 days away from handing over, this administration is still handing out contracts, is still looking for loans to the tune of $800 million from the World Bank? Or do we want a system where you're not able to do all of these things if you have perhaps 1 month or 2 months to the end of your administration, or once an election has happened, you can't hand over, you can't, sign off on major policies or change major policies or try to sign off on major monies or major contracts, or should we find a solution that is uniquely Nigerian, a solution that, caters to Nigeria's peculiarities? That was our second story. Our third story took you to Plateau and Zamfara, where the governments there are owing salaries. Lanre Bashir is on the line. Hi, Lanre.
Yes.
Thanks
Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. Good to have you on the show.
Yeah. Let me talk on the government, the incumbent government.
Okay.
Still awarding contracts.
Right.
When they are about to leave in just few days.
Right.
The simple fact is this. It is because they belong to the same party. Okay. In Pidgin, we call it that because not them.
Okay.
Look, in Kano State, the governor-elect have warned the incumbent governor that, look, and all the contractors, that if any contract I will not pay, I've won the election, and any contract that has been awarded after I've won my election, I will not. And
but that's illegal. I remember when he said that thing, we talked about it. It's illegal. He can't do that. He doesn't have the power to do that.
Yes, it is illegal, but you know what? In this country, some illegality can be legal. For instance, could be legal.
Okay.
I'm telling you, as far as this country is concerned, that is why is this government that is about to go awarding contracts, asking for loans over $800 million and all the rest of that? It is wrong. There are some things that are needed to be changed as far as this country is concerned, so that we can have a better country. With the way we are practicing things in this country, we can never get it right. Thank you and have a nice day.
All right, thank you and have a nice day. Landry says, in this country, there are some illegalities that should be legal. That's where we start to match line, no? That's where we enter gray area, because that statement sounds along the same lines. It's matching the same line that President Buhari's national security and human rights cannot go hand in hand. I've forgotten how exactly he made that comment when he was addressing the Nigerian Bar Association at their event, and I remember that Nigerians had a problem with that, because rule of law is rule of law. We don't have to like rule of law all the time, but rule of law is rule of law, and we should all strive to uphold rule of law no matter how uncomfortable it is. What we should be doing, instead of saying let some illegalities be legal, is, well, how do we change a law we don't like so that it becomes a law that we do like? That way we're not changing the law from moment to moment. We're not doing things that are illegal from moment to moment. We'll see if Chukwudi joins us at 4 o'clock today. If he doesn't join us, we'll keep talking about these stories from the big three today. Up next is the business news. I am Sandra Ezekwesili. This is Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info, Lagos. Don't go away.
Back to back and back of the biggest talk.
It's just a general attitude to environmental laws. Mechanics, food sellers. One of the reasons why I believe you have so much traffic is because the environmental laws are not enforced, the traffic laws are not enforced, and that has led to complete chaos in the state.
On your number one station for talk, 99.3 Nigeria Info.
And now the business news.
And I want to assume that you would run because I want to give the listeners context for the conversation.
In 2019, you were running mate to Atiku Abubakar. What did you learn then that you will not repeat this time?
Yes, when is the president coming out to address us?
There's a few things. One, I have a burden and a passion for young people.
The fact that you have elected a man does not mean then you begin to order him around. The president will do whatever is good for the country at any given time.
Mr. Adeshino, isn't the president responsible to the people?
What should the next president do to root out stakeholders who are complicit?
You fire those. Those that need to be fired are fired. It's looking like a brand new Chelsea, attacking with so much fluidity. And what can you say about that, Martin? I know you follow Chelsea quite closely.
I live close to the Chelsea training ground. That's what you mean by that. I'm not.